Howdy, howdy, folks. This is Portuguese Joe coming at you once again from Pioneer Gunworks. Today we're going to be talking about the Pioneer Gunworks Coil Mainspring Conversion Kit. Now, this is going to replace the mainspring from your 1873 or 1866 lever action rifle. This is a pretty cool design. We've sold literally thousands of these for quite some time, had nothing but positive feedback from this guy. And what I'm going to do is just give you sort of a brief rundown as to what you're going to be getting in this kit, some of the advantages to swapping out the stock mainspring with this, and what you're going to be looking forward to once you get this fully installed. Now, first of all, you're going to get the roller bearing strut arm that is going to go into the rear portion of this aluminum mounting base. So it's going to basically just slide in. You put the bar through this little back hole right here, and it's going to slide into place into this little channel right here. Now, the roller bearings on this allow it to move fairly effortlessly within this little channel right here. You're going to want to put just a little bit of a dab of lubrication in there just to make sure that it moves nice and smooth. This portion right here on the roller bearing strut arm is going to go in the back of the hammer itself, the inside curvature of the hammer. The advantage to this over any stock mainspring, even if it's tuned, is that this strut arm actually pushes the hammer forward as opposed to just a regular release of the hammer with the increased tension causing from the straightening of the curved stock mainspring. So what you would do is put on one of these little springs right into the back of the spring rod right here. It goes through the back portion, through this mounting base hole right here like I showed you, and then of course just a little bit of a release of tension. This is going to cause an incredibly smooth feel when you pull back the hammer with your thumb or you throw the lever forward and the hammer goes back. The positive energy dispersal from this, like I said, pushing the hammer forward, allows you to get a much greater energy dispersal from the hammer to the firing pin extension, through the firing pin, and finally to the primer. So what that's going to lead to is much more of a consistency in primer hit percentage throughout the lifetime of the Coil Mainspring Kit. So when you purchase this, you're going to get everything that you see here. You're going to get the roller bearing strut arm, you're going to get the mounting base as I showed you, and you're going to get two little wire springs. I'll give you a little bit of a better close-up. There we go. Now, the red one is the lighter of the two, the blue one being 10% heavier. Now the blue one we've added in there because there's a lot of shooters out there, especially the fast ones, that like a much tighter and quicker lock time. We've also added it in there basically just to allow people to kind of generally play around with whatever kind of tension that they like. Now, when I'm installing one of the red springs into this gun, or when I'm installing the entire kit altogether, I always start with the red spring, because generally speaking, 95% of the time the red spring will fire pretty much any primer from any round that you have, regardless of the caliber. And as you know, when it comes to aftermarket modification to your cowboy rifle, the trick is basically finding that midway point, what I call the sweet spot, which is allowing the gun to function in its normal capabilities, but still be able to give it just enough tension to be able to do exactly what it needs to do without feeling overly cumbersome. So you're going to get the red spring and the blue spring. On top of that, what we're going to do is throw in a couple of tiny little Allen screws. Now, these Allen screws are more particularly for the individuals that have a deluxe model rifle or the one with a curved lower tang. What this is going to enable you to do is position these set screws in these two little rear holes right here, which is going to take up the empty space on the curved tang, which is kind of going to look like that. So as you can see, the set screws would basically take up that empty space, like I said, lock this mounting base into place, and then it's not going to move around or go anywhere. Now, on top of that, we've added three little washers into the kit that we're going to give you, and what these are going to do is add up extra space if you indeed either want to increase the tension on either the blue or the red spring, or let's say perhaps you're taking one of the blue or the red springs and you want to play around with the tension yourself. It is highly recommended that when you do that, you release no more than one coil, period, from any one of these springs. And the reason for that is that once you've removed at least one coil, removing any more from that is permanently going to alter the tension, perhaps to a detrimental point. Once that happens, really the only thing you can do is either replace the spring or add one of these little washers to the back of the spring. And what I usually do in that case is I'll put the washer on the spring rod itself, slide it into place, and then put the trimmed coil spring right into place right there. And that's going to take up the place of one full coil revolution in the case that you actually have tweaked it to your own personal liking. Now you can use all three of the washers on this spring rod. Like I said, you can play around with whatever tension you please to your own liking. Now the one thing that I will mention is that when you are adding this mounting base onto your gun, you're going to want to take out the stock mainspring screw right here, and you're actually going to want to reduce the length of this by about 3 revolutions of the threading. And you know, typically I do this pretty much by eye. I've been doing this for so long, but usually if you take it down by about 3 revolutions, right about down to here, maybe even 2 for the sake of safety, that is going to reduce the length, allowing you to install this mounting base correctly so that when you put the screw through the bottom lower tang assembly, it's going to go through just like this into the bottom half of the mounting base, and make sure that when this goes through, it does not go over the hole right here for which the coil rod is going to be protruding outwards. And as you can actually see, we've designed this with a small threaded indentation right on the front for that mainspring screw to go through. And if you have any issues with this once you buy the kit, please do yourselves a favor and completely read through the installation instructions that you will be getting with this kit once it is shipped out to you. Or if you so prefer, go onto the technical info section on our website and you can look at all of the installation instructions for all of the parts and kits that we have that require installation instructions. You can download those in PDF format absolutely free and just familiarize yourself with the installation instructions for all the parts that we have. Now, a full installation video will be made with this kit going into an 1873 pretty soon, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more of an in general view as to what exactly it is that you're going to be getting, and just kind of a quick run through on how this is going to work for you. Now, these retail for 150 bucks American. If any of you guys have any questions regarding the PGW Coil Mainspring Kit, please do us a favor and give us a call at area code 541-515-6084, or on our email at willshoot'em@pioneergunworks.com via our website. So this is Portuguese Joe coming at you from Pioneer Gunworks, and stay tuned for more installation and instructional videos from Pioneer Gunworks.